Hey guys, it's Andy. I wanted to make a quick video. Get a lot of questions on what should I look for when I buy a new appliance, and thought that was a good topic. I wanted to talk about. We'll just start with French door refrigerators, but I plan on making some videos that kind of break down what I might look for as a technician. What do I see that breaks most often? What might I point you toward to shy away from? Let's get started. So on this website, I'll leave a link in the description where you can find the fridges that I'm looking at. But click on major appliances, refrigerators, and then French door refrigerators. What I'll typically do is just sort by best selling. So I want to see your best selling fridges. And just my initial take, um, things that I look for and kind of thoughts that go through my mind. I figured it might be helpful for some of us. Number one that tops the list is a Bosch. Really don't have a lot to say good or bad about Bosch. I just don't see them that often. And as a technician, that's probably a good thing. You know, if you own a fridge, you don't want it seen very often by the appliance repair guy. GE, on the other hand, comes in second. And I do see a whole lot more GE. But to be fair, there's probably a lot more GEs sold across the board. Maybe not on this website, but I would imagine overall this is a better seller than a Bosch would be. Just my take on it. However, looking at the price, you can buy two of the GEs before you buy one of the Bosch. So that is probably a big selling factor, I would imagine. Um, they look really similar. There's slight differences. You got to look at the height. There's about a 2 inch difference higher on the Bosch. The width is just under 36 inches, where it's just under 33 for the GE. The depth is roughly the same. But that, just looking at the two, is the main differences, just visually, I would think. Other things that I look for, obviously read the reviews. There's only 46 reviews on this one. It does get 5-star reviews. You can read through all the different features that it might have. Scroll all the way down and look at the reviews. This one is doing extremely well on reviews, but also keep in mind that someone who leaves a review on an appliance, you know, the new fridge smell has not worn off yet. So it could be that they're just super excited. This person doesn't even have food in their fridge yet, and they're leaving a review. So impressed, love the price. Oh, it's such a great fridge. But if you ask them to review it 2 years from now, is it going to be the same review? Here's something to look out for, guys. They posted a picture of how close this came to not being able to fit inside their cabinet. They've got this beautiful built-in cabinet. One thing I do like to see, though, is it does have some space for airflow back behind here. A lot of times it'll be fully boxed in, and you got to think that that condenser behind it, the condenser and the compressor behind the refrigerator are not going to be able to breathe very well. You want to have some means to get airflow back there that's going to help your compressor last longer. So anyway, they cut it very, very close on being able to actually fit this thing into the space that's there. So look out for that. It's a good looking fridge, really beautiful. But Bosch, one thing that I don't like about this fridge, just right off the top, it's the best seller. It's freaking expensive. And I'm going to do a search on Sears Parts Direct. And even if your model number does not match exactly, like this one has a series number behind it, just go ahead and pick one of those. The schematic is basically going to be the same typically. So what I'm looking for is the schematics right here. And evaporator parts is one that I kind of focus in on, just because anything sealed system, meaning refrigerant, evaporators, compressors, You don't ever want to deal with that kind of issue because it's typically going to just scrap your refrigerator. So this one you can see has two different evaporators. This one's the freezer. This one's your refrigerator. That means you're going to have two defrost heaters, two defrost sensors right here. There's going to be some type of thermal fuse built into that system. So you have twice as many defrost components to worry about when it comes to multiple evaporators. That I would say probably tops my list on things to watch out for. Whereas going back to our GE example, I'm going to copy the model number on that one. Go back to look at my schematics. And again, the model number does not match exactly, but the first letters do. These last letters are usually going to be color options or some type of feature option. The basic fridge is going to be the same. So this one, let's take a look at the evaporators. So the freezer section just has a single evaporator. I'm liking that. Again, the ice maker is in the freezer compartment. Again, probably from a breaking or not breaking standpoint, from a complexity standpoint, you want the ice maker in the freezer. Here's the evaporator, has a single evaporator. Here's your evaporator fan motor, and it pipes that air right through there. And there's a damper door that opens and shuts based on the temperature that's needed in the fridge section. So I like that design. There's no multiple evaporators here. It's just a single evaporator. One less thing to break, less defrost components, less defrost drain lines to clog. So from a simplicity standpoint, I think GE takes the win here. That out of the two would be my best choice. This one says LG, so I'm just going to flat ignore it unless you just absolutely love replacing compressors for $1,200, somewhere around there. LG is a very bad choice as far as reliability in my view. So that's some of the things that I look for. Additionally, what I might do is, you won't have access to this, but there's statistics that I can pull up on repairs. So on this Bosch, there's been 26% of the repairs have been an ice container. Okay, it does not sound like a huge deal. That is not a bad deal, I guess. Maybe the ice container happens to break. Sounds like an easy enough repair. Cheap enough. 242 repairs just on the ice container. Door foamed, meaning door foam. Both of these make up 26% of the repairs. So that one is a little more major. A door getting replaced is quite expensive if it's outside of warranty. So that's something to keep in mind is, I'm looking really for compressors or control boards topping the list. But control module is only 7% of the repairs. So that's pretty far down on the list. And that really, I'd rather have a control board than a compressor go bad. So that's one thing I'll look at. Let's take a look at the GE and see how its stats are looking. So this one, if it were an exact match for the model, it would be on the left-hand side, but similar match. What they're talking about is basically the same fridge, but maybe different feature sets. The parts are the same. So freezer drawer is 4 total repairs. You can see there's just not a lot of data to go by, which is usually a pretty good sign that, maybe it's a more reliable fridge overall. R600 jumps out at me. So what this is talking about, guys, is fridges. Probably the fridge that you have in your kitchen right now is a 134A is the refrigerant type. Well, this R600 is a new refrigerant that they're using. It's isobutane. And if you know the word butane, you know that it's going to be flammable. So literally we're using a flammable refrigerant now in our refrigerators. It's a brave new world. I'm not a huge fan. Another thing that jumps out to me is whenever you look up, this is R600. We're going to look at the schematic again. And as we're scrolling through here, lock ring connectors. So what this is, you've got your R600 refrigerant, you've got your evaporator, you've got your compressor, and your condenser. All of these use what's called a lock ring. It's kind of like a shark bite fitting for plumbing. And so instead of being brazed in, meaning soldered in to the compressor, all your joints are going to have these lock rings on them. And there's a industry phrase, leak ring. I mean, they're just notorious for springing a leak, leaking all the refrigerant out. And now we're back in the discussions of having a sealed system issue. So really anything sealed system related is going to give you, it's going to put you in a tough spot as far as the making a decision on whether you want to repair the fridge or just trash it and get a new one. I would tell you, if you have a sealed system issue on this fridge at $1,500, you would just throw it to the curb, just due to the price. But lock rings are an issue. Probably the Bosch has lock rings as well. That's kind of the direction they're going. And the idea is you don't want to use a torch on a system that has flammable refrigerant in it. So that's the reason behind that. This is all kind of new territory for a lot of folks. Just within the last, say, 5 years, they've started switching over to this R600. But I hope that's helpful. Just kind of the process that I walk through whenever I'm looking at recommending a refrigerator for my customers. As you can see, they look really similar, but there are some drastic differences under the hood once you start digging in. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. If you have a particular model that you're looking at, feel free to leave that in the comments, and maybe I could make a quick video kind of giving my thoughts on it. Happy to do it. And if you thought this was helpful, let me know, and I can do some other similar type videos, maybe dig in a little bit further on what some of the differences are. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again.